Hello and welcome to SOVL Sick as a Parrot edition. SOVL is a free-to-play turn-based strategy game that's very reminiscent of tabletop kind of RPG. So if you have any familiarity with Warhammer Fantasy or tabletop games, you'll be right at home. If not, we'll explain the basic concepts of the game right at the start, so you'll pick it up very quickly. As you've seen from the title and thumbnail, we're playing as the new faction, the Abyssal Demons. The first 5 are free-to-play, and all their associated characters, so if you have any interest in the game, you can immediately head over to Steam and start playing. Or if you want to have a look at what one of the paid DLC factions are, you can just look at this video series. We'll be playing, the theme of course is the Plague God, so all the green fellows and their endless sickness, which is fitting, as you may hear from my voice. I am desperately unwell, so I thought, well, I was going to do this anyway, so now's a great time, why not? We'll play in the max difficulty, and we'll have to select any plagued units whenever we have the discretion to do so. We get our starting units. Now, the Abyssal Prince that we start with starts off as a normal, but can be upgraded into being violently unwell later, so we can turn him into a plague unit. But for our 2 extra units we get, we can of course pick our desired plague unit, so plague flies, and either a plague hulk or plague walkers. Well, I guess the hulk is a bit more interesting. Big bulbous mass of diseased flesh. And here's SOVL. Here's Act 1. Our objective, of course, is to start on the left side of the map and then move through these stopping points to arrive over here at the boss. Quickly explain what each of these are. The cross swords are battles in which our army fights against an enemy army in exchange for gold and some experience points for our troops. The gold can be spent at these armories, which are shops where we can buy new plagued units or upgrade the ones we already have with, I don't know, better diseases. These swords down are harder battles, elite battles. They're more difficult but exchange for more gold. Random events, these question mark dice are hard to describe, but it could be like learning a magic spell or buying some mercenaries to accompany you, slaying some monsters. We'll go through a couple of them throughout the campaign to show them off. And then last but not least are these little tents, these campsites. So you don't get a battle unlike either of these, but instead you get healing and XP, but no gold. Typically, you want to avoid campsites unless your army's kind of getting its teeth kicked in, you need some healing. But it's usually nice to take one before the boss to get yourself to full strength. So for our path, initially it's the same. It's either 2 fights and a random event, and then we'll get to the shop. This way we get multiple elite battles. In fact, we can go battle crazy over here. Or take a random event if we're getting kicked around a bit too much, and then we can rest over there, so that seems sensible. As for each of these units, they can be named. So, as you notice, they get generic name, the Plague Brigade, which is cute. The Felagor and the Forsaken Colossus, all of these can be renamed. So I'd love to see, if you want to give some recommendations in the comments of any puns you can come up with based around diseases or viruses. The more dad humour coded the names are, the better. I have a very sick sense of humour. Get it? Sick. I'm unwell, don't expect a lot from me. Now here's SOVL, so we each roll a dice. I rolled a 4, they rolled a 3, that means I get to go first. It means in the second, when the fight starts, I'll be able to move a unit first. We're up against skeletons, and a pack of dogs. I would ideally like the dogs to go last. Our Plague Hulk here has its party trick, Plague. Target has -1 skill, -1 move speed, so we can generously spread my sickness around to any of these units. The skeletons are already skilled 2, which is pathetic, so I'll use it on the dogs. I'll explain what skill does momentarily. Now, to be a little bit clever, what these dials will probably do is move forward to engage these flies. So the 2 keys that matter in SOVL are the X key and the C key. The X key reveals my charge radius, so anything in these blue zones I can charge at the end of the combat phase, start of the charge phase. And the C key, anything in these blue zones, the enemy can charge. So if we don't want to be charged by the enemy, of course, we stay out of these. So they'll move forward. So to hit the diagonals in the side, with what we can preemptively do is move my Abyssal Prince here, and he'll be able to catch them wherever they land and be beyond their radius, give or take. He also got Shadow Bolt, so he knows magic, so he can fire 3 shots at any target. If you look at the left here, everything you need to know about a unit is on this left kind of card here. Shadow Bolt, 3 times power, 3 hits, range 18. We saw the range there within range, so 3 hits is just automatic. We hit them 3 times, so there's 3 dice. And then we're power 3. So we're power 3, the enemy's defense 3. After you hit an enemy, the enemy is given a chance to try and save the wound. So of course they get a saving throw. So to figure out what that saving throw is, you compare power and defense. In this instance, power and defense are equal, 3 and 3, so they have a 4-up save. By 4+, it means 4, 5, or 6 succeed, whereas 1, 2, and 3 fail. That's the split. It makes sense. Obviously, the power 3 and defense 3 is exactly equal, so you have an exactly 50-50 chance of making it. They're on a 2, 4, and a 5. 4 and 5 are okay, and the one who rolled a 2 disappears in a cloud of magic sickness. We are beyond the range of this now. These direwolves are going to step forward. Hopefully, if we did this correctly, I'm just going to waste time on these flies. They'll step forward to try and flank me, but I've given the prince the flank it desires instead. So obviously, if you ever look at... So obviously, we're well within the range of the direwolves. However, because they've been hit in the side, they can't move. They're stuck. We've got them. I'm going to fly the flies over this way. Try and draw them away from the prince. I don't want them going anywhere near that. Perfect. And the Hulk could probably defeat these, but I'd like to set up a dual charge here if I have the option. Start running around this way. I could flank them right now, but skeletons don't run away. They're undead. They don't have morale. Okay, so here's melee combat. Now, to determine the hit roll here, it isn't automatic like the spell. For hitting in melee, you look at the skill of the two combatants. So it says 3+, because it's skill 5 versus skill 2. It would be skill 3, but we've lowered it. Because we have superior skill to the enemy, we hit on 3+, or at 3, 4, 5, or 6 succeed, and a 1 and 2 fail. Now for our number of attacks, you can just look at the card. We have 5 attacks on the prince, so we're going to roll 5 dice, needing at least a 3 or more to land hits. We get 3 hits. The enemy then again attempt to save, so once this ends I'll explain what all these dice are and why that happened. If you have a look at the bottom right, we hit 3 times, there's our roll. The enemy then allowed a chance to save, so we had superior power to their defense. We were power 5 and the enemy were defense 3. So they have to save on a 5+, or only the results of 5 and 6 will save them. Which again, it makes sense because the power is superior to defense, so they have worse than not odds of actually passing the test. So the 6 is okay, and the 3 and 1 saw 2 dogs get smushed. Now one of the big benefits to charging a unit in the flank is that they don't get to fight with everyone. Each one of those dogs would usually be entitled to 2 attacks each, so 10 in total. But because I put the prince into the side, only the one touching us here got to fight. So they only got 2 attacks, and because they had worse skill, they hit on 4+ instead of 3, they rolled 2 2s and did nothing, and they lost. So they ran away. Now once you lose a combat, you have to roll a break test. This is this roll. Basically, it's your discipline. See the stats here, discipline, minus how much you lost by. How much you lost by being determined by how many wounds you took and if you were flanked. So if you have a look at the test here, you can see on the bottom right, discipline 7 as a base. They have 1 rank, so you get a bonus 1 for each rank of dude you get, and then they lost by 3 because they took 2 wounds and were flanked. So that means they have to roll a 5 or less on 2 dice to say. They rolled a 9 and promptly departed. That just leaves us with some skeletons to tie up. Okay, I think I can deal... It depends where this unit goes. I'd like to surround one of these 2 skeletons if I can. That's slightly annoying, but okay. Tell you what then. What we'll do is we'll put the Plague Hulk and the Prince into the side and back of this unit, and the flies can fly around this one to keep their attention. They can't see us to charge, but we can of course see them, so let's get stuck in. They're wasting time. Our flies are rather quick, as you would expect, so they're going to struggle to ever keep up with us. There we go. So the Plague Hulk is skill 3, the enemy is skill 2. Woeful skill on the skeletons. They're about as unskilled as a unit can be, so even our low skill of 3 still hits on 3+. Now, again, because we flanked them, they can't hit back, so only these 3 in the side can hit me. They did manage to hit once. We're defense 5, they're skill 3 or 3-up save. And we're fine. That's exactly what we roll. The Prince then goes, hits 4 times, eliminating another 2 skeletons. We win by a bunch. Now, undead units annoyingly don't ever run. Rather, when they lose combat, they just lose an extra 1 to 3 guys. I'll just pick off the rest of those, then deal with this one. Go again. Full house from the Plague Hulk and kills all 5 of them on his own. One touching us hits us and does no wounds. Then this is all academic. These kills would count the spillover kills if there were other units in combat, but obviously they're moot there. We're just showing off. What diseases can you give a skeleton? I don't know, there's probably some bone diseases hanging around. Try and shoot them. Again, we'll back inside them. In fact, to really speed this up, what I could do is I could put the flies in this side. For the trifecta. Well, we'll give them osteoporosis. I think that's the one. Flies have 4 wounds each, so it's quite literally impossible for those 3 skeleton attacks to get one. Well done, Hulk. That's another 2. Take 1 hit, resulting in 0 damage. Flies somehow destroy some skeletons. They take 1 wound, but they're 4 each, so they're okay. Kill 3. Now, if you notice, there will still be some skeletons left at the battle here, 2 left, but the enemy are routing this turn at the top right here. So regardless, once you see that happen, it's over. The enemy are going to give up at the end of the turn. End of battle, you get a flat sum of gold for winning. Hurrah. Point of experience for everyone who participated, some passive regeneration if you took wounds but didn't take any, and then a choice between either healing or gold. We're full HP, we're fine. We don't feel well, but in practical terms, we are doing well. We can either go up or down, and I think the plan is I would like to go down. Going first, okay. So the little picture on the bottom right gives away usually what you're facing. So I saw a unit of archers there, so they'll either be here or here. So if I'm a little bit lucky, I might be able to position the Abyssal Prince in such a way that I could flank them on the side. They're kind of in the middle. That's awkward to get to. Well, the first thing I'll do is plague them, as they're reducing their skill makes it harder for them to hit me, and I'll show that off in a second. That's if you use the shift key. So X and C give charge radius. If you hold shift and use X and C, you can see range potential. So we have no range unit, so it does nothing, but shift and C shows you what the goblin short bows can see. So they can see into the terrain but not beyond it. That's why it stops there. But then here's their actual range, their arc. So currently they can't hit anything, so they'll be forced forward, which is fine. More than happy for them to try and get to me. Send the flyers around this way, go around the side later. They're wasting time shuffling these. I'd love to get a unit into their back, so what I'll do is I'll do some positioning this turn. I'll just get to here, and then next turn I can get through to them. Start shadow bolting as well. Bink, bink, bink. A few less goblins to worry about. I can fairly easily get here to shoot it. Irritatingly, because I went first, they'll always move the short bows last, so that they'll get at least 1 volley onto me. Can't stall them enough to stop this. I guess I could use the Plague Hulk as a bit of a tank. I could try this just to get them to shoot it instead of me. It is more durable and easier to heal. I could even use cover. No point. Plague Hulk will eventually go that way to fight them. Now, if I fly my prince over here, do you think they'll target me or they'll target the Hulk? Annoyingly, I can't actually see them unless I enter the woods. I can just about see them there. They may turn and shoot me. If so, so be it. I can't stop it. No, they're more interested in the Plague Hulk. You see how difficult it is for them to hit us. They've got 10 shots because there's 10 short bows left, and they're skill 2. So usually they'd be hitting on skill 3, so 4 ups. With shooting, it's not skill versus skill, rather it's the number 7 minus their skill to determine hit roll. So if they had a skill of 3, it'll be 7 minus 3 is 4. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to hit. because we poisoned them, their skill has been reduced. They then need a 5 or 6 because it gets worse. And then because they took a long range shot, if you hold the key here, you can see the radius. So within half range, which is this, they get their full ballistic skill. They get to shoot. If in a long range shot, which is beyond half range, they incur another negative to hit penalty. So their skill 2 is 5s, and then it was -1 to hit all the way down to 6s. So only the 2 6s counted. Bizarrely, if the enemy just stepped an inch further forward, they would have gotten the short range one, hit me 3 more times, but they chose not to. So they did no damage. Well, I'm more than happy for the Plague Hulk to actually sort this one for me. Prince can outposition these in a second. Well, the flies can rear charge this one, which is nice. Can I get over here to charge it in the side? That would be really nice. No, so to charge a unit in a particular flank, you have to get at least the majority of your unit into that flank. So that's not majority there, as we can see. I think that'll do. Yes, we're clearly there now. Just to be mean, I might as well shoot them again. So the Plague Hulk stamps on 2 goblins, or just sort of rolls onto them. When they hit back, they have worse skill, so 4 hits, and I'm defense 5. Take 2 wounds, it's a draw. I should have mentioned it, they'll lose attacks while I don't, so I should eventually just win. They're charging me, but fortunately if you hit a unit in the back or side, it's an intercept charge, which means their charges are cancelled. Oh, well, that was a front one rather than a side one. Oops. Okay. It's probably because I got pushed off the wall slightly. It's a shame, but there's nothing. Oh well, we'll win anyway. Plague Hulk again. Gets another 2. Takes 2 wounds. Okay, this is a bit unfortunate, the amount of damage he's taking. I take a wound here, and the flies nibble another one. Ah, of course they hold. If they lost there, they would have all died immediately. We're all stuck in combat, so there's nothing I can do. Come their mob. 3 hits, 3 less short bows. I'd take 3 wounds. It's a draw again. We will win in the end. That's more like it. If you did that last turn, you could have killed them all already. So when a unit is surrounded like this, they can't flee. They just get pinned down and killed to a man. There's nowhere to escape. Will be charged here. I can't really stop it, I'm afraid. They're just going to hit us. Flies will take some damage, so be it. The back anyway. Finally win around and they run away. I lose a fly because I lost I'm a demon. So like undead units, I never run, rather I just take 1 to 3 extra wounds. Another fly. We did win combat, so we don't have to take any more damage. And because they've lost, they've surrounded and disappeared. And the last goblin rolled 666, so actually survives this. Fair enough. Loaded up with an infinite amount of paracetamol and ibuprofen. We couldn't plague that last short bow. So we took some damage evidently, but we have enough XP to start leveling. So the plague flies have leveled. These are what levels look like. Get a choice of 1 to 3. So we're already at 2 or 3 and we can heal the last one immediately. So replenishment's kind of rubbish. So we can either do Blessing of Decay to increase our wounds, or we can increase our unit size. Typically unit size is better as you get net more wounds because of how high our wounds are anyway, and you get more attacks as well. So that's probably the better option. We can get the Blessing of Decay later. Although it's kind of in the spirit of things going with all the plague options. Yeah, okay. Maybe as part of the themed run, we'll take Blessings of Decay if they pop up no matter what. So yeah, this is technically, I guess, it's not quite min-maxed compared to that, but it's thematic. And the Plague Hulk, okay. Can take Battle Hardened for an extra wound. Going from 9 to 10 wounds really doesn't matter. Looter for 5 gold, so when you press that button you get 5 more. Or a Demonic Gift, which increases one of these stats. I'm not concerned with looter, so it's really a question of, are any of these stats better than if I just took the wound? Well, skill would be very nice, because skill 3 to skill 4 gets us over a lot of enemy skill 3 stuff, so we become quite competent. Power 6 to power 7 is niche, we're already pretty strong. Defense 5 to defense 6 is amazing. We're actually able to shrug off a lot more damage at that particular breakpoint. And then 5 to 6 attacks is always good, just universally applicable. Wounds are the same, and then discipline is truly awful, because it does nothing with demon units. So yes, we'll take the demonic gift, because more often than not, it winds up with a better result than the wound. We get attacks, great. It's a very particularly angry Plague Hulk. And healing, we obviously need a heal here. I need my fly back, and then this is good enough, you can take gold. A mercenary spellcaster, a newt priest with his ring and retinue, offers to join your price. You are not a plagued unit, so absolutely not. Brings to a shop. Again, I have to buy plague stuff, so the flies it is. Welcome aboard. Leaving me with 77, which is enough to buy plague on you. Excellent, that's it. So we've learned another round of plague. And while I'm here, I may as well purchase the boulder throw for the plague colossus. And we've learned how to throw a rock. Oh, I should have purchased... Oh, that would have been really good. We'll do it later. We have another unit of flies. Particularly diseased. More of a morbid death run at this point, when the flies start showing up. Brick anvil hide. So I'm going first. There will be a unit that can shoot at us tucked at the back somewhere. I'll just put the fast flying units on the side so they can go pest the stuff. It's a cannon, great. I have to get onto that as fast as possible. It's going to shoot us, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to rush up there at max speed. Cannons are particularly irritating because they do double damage. Their lethal shots are ×2 wounds. How do I deal with this? Well, I guess I could just charge it directly. Hope for the best. I think I'm far enough away such that these can't reach me because they're quite slow, so we'll try that. Yeah, we're just beyond range, so the flyers will deal with this one. Oh, it's a shame. If I had that one on the side, I would have taken 4 wounds, and one of them would just be alive. Oh well. We can start plaguing the cannon is irrelevant, as it doesn't rely on the old 7- skill check for shooting. When it shoots, it rolls a dice and gets 1 to 3 hits. And that's it, it's just random every time. There's no penalty for doing so. If I had cover or inflicted a -1 penalty, that would work, but -1 skill is irrelevant. Unless I go into combat, at which point lowering its skill to ours is kind of useful, but who cares. I'm going to plague these. Colossus can throw a rock. Sure, why not that one? So the rock works in a similar way, where you just roll 2 dice and get 1 to 3 as random results, and that's your hit. So 3 and 3, we've got 6 hits. And look down here, the boulder throw is power 5, the enemy defense is 5, so equal. 4 up to save, 3, 3, 2, get rocked. The reason I'm happy to throw the flies in here is, despite our woeful combat stats, when you engage a cannon in close quarters, they lose 2 defense as a penalty for being engaged. They shouldn't be. Yeah, -2 defense in close combat. Okay, so I don't particularly want to fight the dwarf form head on. It's an incredibly tough unit, so I'm just going to stay away from it. What I will do is I'll split these units apart to the best of my ability. Another plague. They've already been plagued, so I suppose perhaps it's your turn. I can make them skill 2, which is funny. Yeah, you're also sick. Sick in the entire army. You all have influenza now. Congratulations. I'm just going to keep blasting them over and over again with Shadow Bolt. Chip away. There are the flies. 1 hit, hooray. Doing no damage. And I actually lost a wound. Okay. I would like it if you didn't. And then you took max damage from Crumble. Okay. I need to send these other flies in to help, because apparently I'm going to lose that. Such embarrassing. Not super great at start. I mean, they are just big flies. I don't know what we were expecting from them. Well, they come, which is great because it allows me to do this and just ignore them. Try again, single fly with your 2 attacks, no damage. It's a draw. Okay. Maybe I can add a whole nother unit and that'll do it. Yeah, they really struggle to actually hurt anything. Shadow Bolt. Damage. Me, well, I can easily get away from them. Once this is dead, I can then use both of these units to harass and kind of set up better charges. You still haven't done a wound and taken one yourself. Fortunately, there are enough flies now to help where we can win. Yeah. Once a cannon loses combat, because it has no movement, it can't run away, so it just dies on the spot if it fails a break test. Congrats, you two can now participate in the rest of the battle. I'm forced to go first. Let's move this fly over here. So shall we set up a dual charge on this unit and try and break it? I think it's doable. I'd like first to see where this unit goes, otherwise it might try and stop me annoyingly. It's that unit seems to have locked onto that fly for reasons uncertain. And that unit is locked onto that fly, so we can just completely ignore these now and focus on this one with our actual damage dealers. This is why this unit is such a nightmare. It has shield wall. Basically every turn the commander is going to cast shield wall and make it so the entire unit re-rolls failed damage saves. Attempting to catch my poor flies. I will not allow it. So the character gets to fight sideways cheekily, but otherwise it's just him and the 2 guys. I get a 5-up save, so 2 die, and the rerolls do nothing. 1 guy touching me does nothing. So I would have killed 3, but it's 2. So the bad news for them is that I think, yeah, shield wall has the nasty side effect of reducing their movement to 0. So like the cannon, if they fail a morale check, they can't move on running and just die on the spot. It's the price you pay for using it. I think that's a fairly reasonable price given how absurdly strong an ability it is. Now both of these units are Dwarven veterans. They're a real hassle because they never break. You'd have to systematically kill your way through all 15 of them. Now to do that, the smartest way, this flies, I'll just use this 1 fly to distract this, so let's use these 3 to kill this unit. What would the ideal setup here be? Probably get, what, 1 in the back and 1 in each side. Who would we want in the back? I probably want the Prince in the back because he's the most susceptible to damage. And then these 2 are going to have to take a few attacks each from the 3 guys who can hit sideways. Isn't too much to ask, is it? Might be difficult to actually fit up there, annoyingly. You just about get to side arc. If I do this and then start twisting, assuming I don't bury myself in terrain like an idiot. Yeah, that's majority side arc there. Do need to be a bit careful though, as you'll get pushed off of terrain at the end of the phase. They're charging, but because they've been flanked and rear charged, they get intercepted many times and are stuck. Get him. Sickly squad. Plague Hole gets 1. Takes 2 hits back. Taking a wound. Great. The flies do 1 for nothing in return. And the Herald. So Prince does 2 more. Now, this is why these are such a pest. Veterans are fearless, so they incur no penalty for losing combat. It would be miraculous for them to lose a morale check because they roll on their high discipline every time. We're just going to get stuck here slowly chipping away. I'll get to 2 more. No wounds this time. Flies take 2, but I've got wounds to spare, so I'm fine. Roll a knight. Yeah, so they're still there. I think next turn I can finish them. I can't lose the fly now because it's got wounds to spare, so the worst case scenario is I take 1 extra wound on the Hulk. Want my fly, but because we can fly, we fly over them. Fly, 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 fly. Okay, the Hulk does nothing. Fortunately, we have friends to pick up the slack. There we go. Okay. Now we've done enough damage to the enemy here that their morale will just actively decrease for every turn that passes. We don't need to do anything to win now. So we're not going to bother engaging this headache unit. I'm just going to skip phases until the round ends. Notice this will just depreciate naturally. Charges. We're far too unwell to be making this kind of effort. And they'll move to routing this turn. So this is the last turn. All 14 rounds, God blimey. Could even recharge to be really mean about it. No. The benefit of just that 1 fly surviving is a massive deal. The AI isn't smart enough to stop it from aggroing onto a certain unit. Once they're locked, that's basically it. Unless you get too close with something else. Okay, so the flies. A bit of work. The Abyssal Prince is leveled. And gets the one we were desperately hoping for, Lord of Decay. So become a servant of the God of Decay. There you go. I now look how I feel. Once per battle, all friendly units get with the Gift of Decay, which is my entire army, restore D3 wounds. Healing. The ones at full HP take gold. 1 fly is obviously not combat viable, so I have the squad. And I would like the Hulk to be a bit stronger. There you go, we're at max strength. Hooray! Okay, we're doing fine, so I think the best bet is more golden experience from the fights. Walk Raiders next. Sorry if you're hearing a lot of coughing and sneezing. I'm trying to mitigate it, but some will probably leak through into the video. Part of the ambiance, I swear. I'm dying over here. Okay, Orc Raiders. There'll probably be some fast stuff, so we'll just use, again, it's flies distracting things and the 2 actual heavy hitters doing most of the work. Yeah, I'll have to flank these units on the side. Again, I'd prefer if they were going first, not me, but we'll make do. I can easily flank those, but I need to wait and see where the chariot winds up. So to make our life easier there, I could reduce their skill, but they're going to be flanked by the Prince, and the Prince's skill is such that it doesn't matter. So really it's just a question of making them a bit slower, which doesn't really help. If I want to plague something, I would probably plague that unit just to slow it down and make its life miserable. Good, we know the chariots are. Can I fit in there with my Prince becomes the question. Maybe, that's a bit of a tight squeeze. It's going to be difficult. So obviously I can fit, but I don't know if the game will allow me to get away with it or say I'm too close to an enemy unit. Yeah, I thought that would happen, so I have to get closer to the edge there. About as good as I can. Oh, but if I do that, I'm caught. The only way to fix that is to be more precise over here. 17.1. Doesn't work. 0.0. Sort of gets me there, but I'm being caught by them. This should be doable if I'm very precise. There you go. So I'm beyond their vision cone. I'm beyond their vision cone. I've got them. Then my plague in here, I might as well just throw out a shadow bolt to see if I can do a bit of damage. Maybe it's even better off into the chariots. Because doing extra damage here is irrelevant. If they run, they're going to run. They're going to get 2 attacks anyway, so scraping a few wounds off of this is more important. Or not, they could roll 444. Other things, well, this unit is stuck, so don't worry about that. It's just this to be concerned with. Could just fly over it. Like that, apparently. That. Thank you. Well done, Boar Riders. Doot. Okay, so obviously you're going to want a piece of us now. I'll have to use the flies to stop this. As I come around here, down, and then twist. I can easily catch them without them seeing me. Yeah, piece of cake. And over here I'm just distracting things. Could I reach... I could throw a rock at it. The chariot, see if I can soften it up so the flies actually have a chance of finishing it off. I can see my range there, so I can just about get into range of it. I cast rock. Hey, max hits again. Dealing 3 wounds, good. I think you can do 2 wounds in combat easily enough. As for other things we can do, I can heal my guys, but I'll save that obviously for when I start taking damage. I could potentially plague something as well. If I plague this, I reduce it to skill 2, which in theory means it has a slightly harder time hitting me. I mean, what am I saving it for? My hit roll is the same. We're going to hit on 4+, but it means they're no longer hitting on 3s. They're hitting on 4s as well. Okay, so here's our combat. 5 attacks, 3+ to hit. 4 hits, and then it's equal power and defense. They actually have a pretty good save, annoyingly. They do lose, and typically when orcs lose combat, they tend to leave. Yeah. They have good stats otherwise, orcs, but if you can get them at a disadvantage, their discipline is low. Bunch of rowdy fellows. I could hit this unit pretty heavily now. I'd rather wait and see what the other ones do. Interesting, they're after my flies. So I could stop them by using the Plague Hulk and putting it into their back arc. That leaves you free to do whatever you want, really. I can't quite reach them, which I would have liked to do, but I can reach this, and I can hit both. Bit of a risk, though. I don't want to charge into the side, as 4 attacks means I'm basically guaranteed to take damage for not really anything in return. I'll just move around here. Help with that later with those warriors, I think. I could have shot something. Oops. Flies, nibble a wound. Take 2, so it's a draw. Okay. Hopefully you can scrape 1 off of it later. Seriously, they can't actually charge me, but this is the best charge we'll get anyway. I think it's perfectly reasonable that you can... Well, if this unit holds, it will turn around and fight the Plague Hulk. So what I'll do to be clever... I'll try to put myself in a spot where I can rear charge either of these units. Just cherry pick the best option. Can I miss my chance to shoot something? Oh well. You may have realised the flies, not great in combat, but amazing at distracting things. Yeah, so this is dead now. Didn't even lose a flight. 2 hits is a bit sad. 2 wounds is okay. They'll probably turn around because of all their rank bonuses. No, they failed. A below average unit of orc warriors. Well, in that case, I could probably set up a dual charge against this just to kill it. If I put the flies in the side and the prince in the back, I could put these flies in the side. That risks losing one, though, which is a bit of a shame. Let's just do some positional play this turn. Okay, they're on our case. That's fine. Come over here. This unit rallies. That's expected. Plague Hulk them again. And then you, I think I'm happy for you. Come this way and charge that unit if you can see it. Yes, you can. The fact that I can shoot them reveals that they have got line of sight. Must have just tipped into the woods. I don't really want the flies to engage anymore. They've taken too much damage. I lose one for nothing. If I hit both of them, I can break both units in one turn, which is ideal. I think I'll hold on to the heal as they may turn around and hurt my Plague Hulk. Healing the flies is irrelevant as I haven't taken one. You can take any number of extra wounds, so you see he's taken 3 of 4. But as long as you don't lose the whole model, fine. Those are basically free damage, you'll replenish them automatically. 3 hits is still below average. I think the average you're looking for is 4 of 6. And yeah, annoyingly they do pass, so now I have to charge this. I don't take damage, and the flies get 1 more. That should be enough to break them. So annoyingly, if I charge this, we'll win, but they'll probably hurt me, and then I won't have an opportunity to activate the heal, because I'm going to be too busy. It happens before the combat. Can I overheal? Can I put more wounds on them than I have now? No, you get capped at 9. Yeah, so everyone's just sort of healthier. Worth a try. Running, and just this one. Okay, you did absolutely no damage at all. That's tragic. We barely won because of the flies. Okay, so if I did wait, I would have been able to heal that wound. Come on, guys. Univorks. You're going to have to bring the prince back over. Can't shoot into an active combat, so there's nothing we can do there. It's really, really just below average rolling on the Hulk. Very durable though, so not taking a lot of damage, but not dishing out a lot. Because we've surrounded them and they've failed a break test, they all disappear. They are subsumed in the sickly fat of the Plague Hulk. Unfortunately, with these single entity monsters, if you get wounded, you heal 1 for free every round, so we're basically right as rain, were it not for the fact we're constantly dying of disease. Flies have leveled, and as per our run, we're going to stick with the wounds, 5 wounds each. Blessing of Decay, all gold for everyone. Leading us to another elite battle. Von Platen, okay. So, it's not as tough as the dwarves, but faster moving and with some range stuff. Can be quite annoying. They'll have some guns probably hiding at the back there I'll need to deal with quickly. Easiest way to deal with those, well ideally I would use the Plague Hulk to kill the cavalry or flank, or this one, and then something here could hit the archers in the side if they're on either, so we'll put that there, and maybe you there and there. Okay, the archers are kind of isolated, that's good news for us. So I'm going to distract the rest of their army over here. What I'll do is I'll immediately plague them, and then speed run the... Probably better off just using the prince actually, yeah, let's do it that way. He can fly over there and flank them faster than anything else. I'm going to be real. The flies cannot defeat these units in direct combat. There's no point in trying to send them to their deaths. Just get to there and then fly around next turn. Fly around. Just stand here and distract things. I guess I could double charge it. That might do it. Can I flank this unit this turn? I'm pretty quick, but am I that quick? Yes, I am. We're here. Spells. I don't need any more plague, so I'll just shoot a couple of them. More likely the unit runs away. Kill off the rank. I'll be after you. They'll never catch them, so don't worry. Other plague. I'm going to plague this one, as reducing both the character and the unit skill is quite nice. As for these, I'm just going to wait for this to be dead and then bring them over to help pick all this off. I could take a double charge now, but unfortunately, if it fails, well, even if it doesn't fail, if we kill them, one of these units will then be hit in the back, which just isn't worth it. Here, I've got a rock to throw. Like this. Wash 2 halberdiers. I blew my nose on the rock before I threw it. Make it extra lethal. I roll an annoying 5 to stay in combat, so I'm going to have to slowly beat these 6 handgunners to death. Fine, the rest of this can just distract them. Could take that fight now, but halberdiers specifically hard counter my plague hog. They don't have extra power on the charge, but rather when any damage save they rolls against them can never be better than a 4+. So they're power 3 and I'm defense 5. I should have a 3-up save, but it will reduce to a 4+. They're really good at just hacking apart anything that is relying on defense to save itself. And monsters and heavy cavalry included. They take no damage, they take another 2, and they lose this time. I have infinite time to play over here, so I'm just going to stick with them and make sure they're all dead. I think that unit is after those flies, so I can just move this one up here to be sort of safe. So. A bit close for comfort there. This way. Or the large, rotund green gentleman sauntering around. Only one hit, great. Now rally, and then we're back to fighting again. Saves me having to chase them down, I guess. Any day now, Abyssal Prince. Oh, interesting. They've now locked onto this unit. They've swapped targets. Because we spread them out far enough that it wouldn't overlap, it doesn't matter. Hits. Can we get all of them? No, we dropped one. And we even took a wound for it. Am I going to charge this to kill one-hand gunner? Yes, because I don't want it constantly shooting at me the entire time. Just kill that off. Mercy. I'll start to round on these guys. To make sure they can't catch me, I'm going to go this way. Ideally, I'll lure this one over in this direction. Makes it easy to flank them later with him when he comes around. Now that heal in tow if I need it. He killed a single one. Well done. How impressive. Of these, I think it would be easiest to actually surround and kill the halberdiers with the 2 monsters. Ideally, the way this would work. They face that way. If I can rear charge them here, like so, I'll rear charge them with this unit and flank charge them with the hog. And if I take damage, I can then heal it. It's a very particular way we have to play this army, as the flies have negligible damage output. They're really just there as distraction pieces, while these do all the heavy lifting. We'll add a few more units hopefully in a moment and fix that problem. This isn't going to work long term. We're eventually going to encounter enemy forces that can't just be run around infinitely. This unit hasn't been plagued, so they're still fairly tough, but not tough enough to make a difference. 0 to stay. Charge them just again and make sure these are dead. Knowingly, they're both rear charges, so I can't set up the ideal one. Slow and steady. I could have shot them there, and I chose not to because I'm a genius. They rally, of course they do. There is some method to my madness. Whenever I'm moving one of these units, I always pick a direction such that when they try to move to me next turn, I'm not going to accidentally wind up in the charge arc of another enemy. So I could have put these flies here, at which point they'll turn around and likely be seeing the other flies, which would be a real headache. You can do this, but you've got to kind of manage the direction the AI is going to be looking. Instead of doing it this, I've been constantly moving back and forth. Next turn they'll look that way and we're perfectly safe. Ouch, took another wound. We did very little there, but hopefully you go off the field. Hey, there we go. Sadly, I can't heal my own wounds. We don't count as a... We don't have the gift of decay. We are a Lord of Decay, but we lack the gift of decay. Okay. This unit has obviously been fed up now and has changed priority, so how do we want to handle this? We can continue to distract this with the flies, so it's really about dealing with you. In which case, the best bet I think I would like to rear charge them with the flies and side charge them with the Hulk. That's probably the most efficient way of dealing with it. Can't do it this turn, but I can do it next turn. That pins them in place, allowing them very little attacks, and I can actually do some meaningful damage. I need a turn or two to get into position. I don't want to put the Prince into the side anymore because he's taking too much in terms of wounds. So they're on you, that's perfect. What we want here. This way. Draw them away from this combat. Ready to heal the Plague Hulk if need be. Their positioning is somewhat awkward. We'd probably have liked to have charged them in the other direction towards a board edge. This will do. Comes the Hulk. Squashing a knight, taking a wound. Even the flies contribute one. How valiant. They do hold. Now, the benefit of charging a unit from two sides at once is that they can't reform. So they're stuck looking the wrong way, so they don't get all of their attacks still. I'll hold on to the heal for a bit because I can heal more than one wound. And I may need to. Yep, like so. Still winning though. Broken them. I think I will heal. I don't have to engage in any further combat. Interestingly, I can actually just ignore the enemy at this point. They failed to rally, so I'll just keep going. Heal. Ah, sad. I got a 1 on the Plague Hulk, which is a shame. 2 or 3. It's one you get. Basically, you get 1, 2, or 3 on every unit, and kind of randomized. So 1, 1, 1. Everyone got 1 wound. So the only one that 1 in 9 chance of the worst possible result. Great. The enemy morale is just going to give up now as time passes. Oh, they nearly ran off the field. How annoying. That would have been useful. Be bothered with. Still on the flyers, huh? If they ran off, it would have sped up the Ishan, but okay. Oh, can I escape here? I'm not allowed to twist. Interesting, I'm going to have to fly forward. Escape this way. So wait, so you're allowed to fly through units as a fly, but you can't rotate through them. So you notice when I do this, I'm stuck. So I have to do this and then move forward. I can get away. You can, however, rotate through allies freely. So I can clip into my friend there, but not this unit. We can do that bizarrely. Still wavering. 2 more turns and we'll leave. On turn 19, we'll claim victory. Could be considerably more aggressive with this if you wanted, but I do not want to do so. After my flies, you can't have them. Don't want to take any more damage, honestly. Can't escape that way, so we'll go this way. Routing this turn. Hooray! Skip, 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 skip. Just hammer the space bar and get through this. Doesn't matter what happens past this, we're good. Get a wound back each, which puts them close enough to full. The original plague flies have leveled again. Gain poisoned attacks, so they can actually maybe able to hurt things in combat. Rarely. I think it means whenever they roll a 6 to save, yeah, they re-roll the saving throw. And the Plague Hulk gets an extra wound. No different from that, but eventually you'll get to decay too and poison attacks. Poison attacks are more useful the higher your power is. So with a high power unit like the Plague Hulk, typically things are only saving on a 6 or 5 or 6. So if we force enemies to roll all the 6s again, that cuts a lot of their saving potential down. With the flies, who are like power 2 or 3 or whatever, they get to save really high, so re-rolling occasional 6s now and then don't mean as much. But this is fine. Those wounds are honestly fine, we'll just take all the gold. Have another fight, and then the rest, and then the Act 1 boss. And again, this one will be easier because it's not, you know, the elite character one. They are going to get shot at a bit though. Flyers on the flank I think is fine. And you can come up the middle. We have a light unit cavalry, not heavy cavalry, and the handgun is there. Let's get around them. Again, first things first, I'm going to plague them immediately in case they want to shoot me. These first. Get around them this turn. I can probably flank the light cavalry here. They are going to move forward and shoot me, which is a shame. So what if I hide under cover? Try and get away from them here. They come. Okay, they didn't get a target because I was basically safe. I don't think I quite have the movement to get behind them now, sadly. Can't get through that rock in a turn. I can charge them head on, but that's a bit suicidal. Went straight forward. I can't get over them either, so I'm probably better off in that case. This light cav is one unit I can't infinitely skirmish with because it has a ranged attack. They have 2 pistols each, so they're firing 10 shots every turn. They will quite quickly kill off a unit of flies, so I do actually have to do something about them. I'm going to plague them to reduce their damage output as well in case they try anything. And I think I can get around them next turn. One of these units will flank them. The flies. They take a long-range shot needing 6s to hit and hit 6 of 12 times. That is an obscene roll. And do, yeah, even my above average damage, below average save. So they're perfectly average SOVL roll there. Completely unfair. But the flies can reach to start attacking them. Never mind, after this there's a campsite to go to, remember, so we can fix some of these wounds. Silly spearman unit, that's not too concerning. I'll just come up this way. Past rock. Good hit. Alright, so the hit to this one, which is a shame. I guess I could just force feed some fly wounds into it. They can't really kill one. Good. And they chose not to shoot for some reason. Sometimes the AI does that. I can't tell you why. Come here, shoot this. Oh, no damage. Sadly, I think they just tipped into the flight rate, so even if I win this, I'm going to get hit by those pesky foot knights. I kind of want them to hold here, actually. Good, they do. I don't have to be charged by the foot knights. Let's heal them if they start taking damage in a moment. Flies over to help. That close. Close enough to hit anything if I wanted to. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. They're obviously trying to chase you around. It's not a good idea to fight that, really. Could win, but it's not worth the hassle. And then this save. I'll wait for the flies to start taking damage before the heal kicks in. They now will start taking damage because I've lost. And I've taken another 3. I need help quickly. I need you to win this and get rid of them immediately so I can go help. Oh, don't roll double 1. Okay. I just leave these flies here to help kill this then. Or charge this and accept that the Plague Hulk is going to get hit in the flank. Yeah, if there's one unit in the entire army that could handle it, it's you, so I'll let you get hit. After my flies, now is a perfectly reasonable time to heal. 2, 2, 3, so plenty of healing there. Yeah, the Hulk got the good one, all 3, so we're up to a decent strength. It also heals back the one I lost, so I have my attacks back for the combat. You. This is still somehow ongoing. You can fly over here and recharge them. I doubt it with the Hulk helping. I do lose a fly. Wash another one. Yeah, this is where, if I had poison, they'd be re-rolling those and getting almost nothing. Wound there, that's okay. They're now broken. I'll say it's good enough. Stick around for a bit and break them properly. If I stay with this unit, yes, I don't want them coming back. So I'll have the Hulk finish that off. And we'll have you finish this off. Flies, do your thing. Bzzz, around the enemy. Bzz. Bzz. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Ah, you missed 2. We have to spend another turn killing them. Only 1 hit. That's terrible. And they broke though. Very scary Abyssal Prince. Coughing and spluttering his way to victory. It would probably put you at least a little bit, wouldn't it, if your enemy was charging towards you and was clearly viciously ill with something. Like, ugh, I don't want to deal with that. Okay. Who do we want to prioritise? Probably the Spearman unit. Easier to kill than Footlights, and they're worth more for combat resolution because there's more of them. The ideal setup here is a rear and flank charge with these 2. Big on handgunners. A little plague flies here can just distract that. Yeah, I can get to the back and side there, no problem. As well even shoot them again. Or even better, I could just have the Plague Hulk do it. I'm more likely to take meaningful damage, but again, the campsite will just heal that for free in a second, so who cares? Fires come this way and get in their way. Congratulations, Spearman, you've been monster mashed. SARS and influenza themselves are coming to beat you. They're so short range they can't even reach us there, so we're good. Take a wound, that's fine. Evicting them over and over again. Rally. Decision, here's your reward. Side charge. Oh no, it's going to be a rear. Only put one of these units in. I guess I could just wait a turn. If they turn around, get them anyway. I want both charges. Comes, well, that's fairly easy to handle. Get exactly what I was after in the end, regardless. You're correct. We don't need to actually do this charge, but it just makes it a bit faster. Any damage we theoretically take on the Hulk will heal for free. Okay, 2 wounds is a bit annoying. Do a bit less than that. Stop charging now. 2 more turns of hammering the spacebar button. My plague flies. Oh, whatever will I... Oh, it's bugged. Interesting. It says it's wavering, but sometimes it does this where it's low. It's actually routing this turn, but it doesn't quite register it correctly. One more back. So we get, what, 2 to 3? When you go to a campsite, the way it works is you get an instant round of healing for free, and then a choice between either a point of experience or a second round of healings. So, yeah, we'll get 2 to 3 and be of 9 or 10, and we're fine. So the prince is leveled. Get a better version of Shadow Bolt, Demonic Gift, or gold. And the gold 5% is just that flat sum there increased by 5%. So we got, what, about 70? So it'd be 10% is, what, 7? So about 3.5 gold a battle. It's really not worth it. So one of these, I don't care about Shadow Bolt being a bit stronger, but we could get some really good stats from the random one. Skill is niche. It's not great because you're better skilled than most things anyway. Power would be very nice. I have low starting power. Defense would be nice. 4 is kind of terrible for a monster lord, so I can go up. Attacks is universally applicable because just hit everything better. Wounds is nice because we don't die as much, and then discipline is literally useless because we're a demon. So I'll take anything but discipline, please. Attacks, fine. We're a blender. We've accelerated the rate at which we cough on things. Okay, so let's go just gold on everyone because these will all heal for free. Bring us to this one so we can go to the heal. There are no plague units this time, I'm afraid. I could take the hounds and then I make them, because they're neutral, I can then make them plague later, I believe. I can give them the mark. So that's a fair kind of solution. I got a bunch of gold to spend on levels. I'll put all the things in the prince. These are great. So cruelty, enemy reroll saves. So any damage I do has to be rerolled. Unyielding, he rerolls his own failed damage save. So if I take damage, he gets to heal it, or he gets a second chance to roll the dice. And then vitality and extra defensive wounds. Great. We fixed our prince into being sort of a liability into being absolutely top tier. And the Plague Hulk also gets some upgrades. Putrid Stench is the most important one. So opponent re-rolls hits in close combat. So whenever they hit us, if they get a successful roll, they have to roll the dice again to try and convert it into a success. So it gives them very little chance of hurting us. I don't care about Shroud, it just gives cover, so I'll just take Shadow Bolt for a bit of range damage. That's it. Heal to full. Basically full HP, and then a point of experience for everyone. Plague Flies leveled again, and get their own version of corruption. Poison for poison attacks. Nice. Plenty of disease to go around. There's our army for the Act 1 boss. Some extra hounds. I'm fairly certain I can make them nurgly. If not, we can just... They're fine. Just a packet of dogs is okay. Hand on heart, we needed it for this because there's no way we'd be able to beat this boss with only these 4 units. Drazgog. Me first, alright. Flies on the flank just to be annoying. You in the middle so you can hit stuff as you want. And then probably the dogs here and maybe you there, give or take. Okay, we have bands of trolls and a huge number of orc warriors, and that's it. Okay. Fortunately, you're actually strong now, so I can use you more aggressively. I'd like to flank that unit, but then I need something to distract these while I'm there. You can easily get over there and distract those, so yeah, I'll do it this way. So come here. This is far enough away such that I should be safe from being reached by them. Could start spelling things. These are all skill 3. It won't matter for our skill because we're skill 4, but for the skill 2 units, reducing their skill would be really nice. So let's play this one. Interesting choice. Guess the flies can go that way. Can't actually get up there, it's so far away. Yeah, the battle map for these bosses is just larger, is what's happening. Should be fine. And you can distract all of those, no problem. Not throwing the dogs into combat there, they'd get skewered. How do we activate the Plague Hulk effectively? Well, I guess I could poison another one. Another one of these big blocks, you. Yeah, just, yeah. Distract them. See their movement's shorter now, they didn't get as far. And their arc is smaller. They're busy coughing out their insides. So you're after my poor Hulk, how dare you? Other things I can do, I can heal a bit later. Coming down the middle. I'll put this here, in case this unit somehow holds on, it's nice to have this as a backup. Good, you can, while I kill this, you can distract these. Start spelling things. Don't fire into the trolls. Because of their regeneration, unless you kill a whole troll off, they'll just heal all the wounds. So that you have to get incredibly lucky to get 3 of 3 in one shot. And their line is just going to step forward. I could charge these in the flank now with the hounds. Yeah, I would get, what, 4 attacks, hitting an average of 2 times. Power 4, defense 3, only get a 5-up save, so do 1.666 wounds. I would get 10 attacks, hitting 6.66 times on average. Power 5 on the charge, because of Fang's defense 4. So I get 4.44 wounds. I win by 3 odd. They usually break, but it's a lot of just a risk. Why bother? We can just do better later. Just slip through. They're stuck. Can't do anything. We'll wait for the stronger units to win and then slowly collapse our way through the line. We have 6 attacks now. They have a 4-up save, but are forced to reroll, so I get all 4 wounds. Get back. I have a 4-up save, but I'm allowed to reroll failures because of unyielding, so I take no damage. Because of the good roll, they actually break and run away. Could charge them again immediately. I'd rather not. It's kind of a waste. Leave it. See if I can engage some of these. So there, I can flank that one with the Plague Hulk now. That's good. Depending on where this winds up. Have the flies come this way. Ah, you know what I could do? I could surround them and hopefully kill them in one turn so they don't endlessly do this back and forth headache. That's already moved, so that's safe to ignore. Curiously, this one's already injured, so I could try and... Now you see, it's already regenerated. So there's no point. Just shoot like an actual target that can take, you know, wounds. Like that one. They're after the flies. I'll just ignore you. They may try and hit my hounds. I want to put the hounds here and hit that unit in the back. They're annoying in that they may try and intercept me in a moment. I don't want that to happen. I move this first and then they move over. I can at least outposition them. I do. The good news, unlike every other unit, the hounds have the ability to flee, so I can actually get away from combat. They do rally. Okay, in that case, I'll leave you there to kill them. There's no point shooting, it's a waste of the shot. Hopefully that's enough damage to chip them away. Oh, I forgot to charge this. I'll do it next turn. And I'll be facing the correct direction. It was all part of the plan. So they're clearly after you. That was easy to see coming. Wasting their time. I could, just to be safe, put my flies here so I could recharge this unit if I can't get away correctly. It depends who they target. Flies, they need 3s. Wow, they rolled terribly. They lost a troll to a fly attack. That's embarrassing. Flies did more damage than the Plague Hulk. Win by 4. That's enough to break them, and they're surrounded, so they're dead. Perfect outcome. Dogs get the correct number of hits, and they get a slightly above average save. We needed 4 wounds, but I'll allow it. They break, as they should do. Okay, this turn for real. Now, I could intercept them, but I think I would rather flee. The dogs are demonic? Okay, apparently when they're in this army, I misunderstood. These are fearless, these are demon dogs that know no fear, so I will have to intercept them to save them. You got me there. Just leave them on them then. They're using Warcry, which is his ability. Everyone gets +1 power. Bad news, they're all facing the wrong way, so no one's actually going to benefit from that spell. That fly unit is in dire straits now if it gets stuck there. Going to be basically impossible for me to get any unit over there to save them. To the point of I'm not even going to bother trying. I'll just kill these and then deal with these 3. I'm effectively going to sacrifice that fly unit. Come help fight these in case I need it. Could flank those and break them this turn. Likely, I'll admit. Yeah, again. Yeah, average hits. And they managed to... I needed 1 more wound to actually kill a troll. Now it's still alive. Flies do nice, you know, for a unit of flies. Because of orc morale being as pathetic as it is to actually run. Dogs having actual damage output can hurt things. Trust you to kill this, and I'll trust you to kill this. Do we want to charge either of these? Charging that in the flank is a headache because of that irritating character hitting sideways, so this one. So they have only 1 active unit, which is this. That can't move, so I can sort of ignore it. What I'd like to do is put the flyers over here to hit this unit in a second. Flyers are here to distract. With their flyness. Chewed through the whole 20-man warrior block. Can you actually do 4 wounds? Nope, still 2. So they'll regenerate those 2 again. I only need you to do 3 wounds for crying out loud. So they're being forced to reroll every hit they get now because of putrid stench. So 3 hits is actually 1. Still get the wound through, which is irritating, but you know, I'll take it. Yeah, they're gone. Now the Plague Hulk can come around and help kill this. Second. They turn the direction I'd hoped they would. I could have thrown my rock at someone. Tragedy. Charge this, but I don't want to. Let's try and distract that unit by putting them over here. Chase me, chase me. And then the dogs can come around and actually hurt things in this direction later. If they look that way, that would be perfect. Healing. I could do this now because the flies are both wounded and the Plague Hulk's wounded, and it's not a waste because that's you get basically maximum value out of it even if you roll 3 on everything. So yeah. 1, 2, 2. Yeah, well, I got the good one on the Plague Hulk, which is what I'm more concerned with. I'm going to have to heal these flies in a second regardless. We only just lost, which means I take 3 more wounds. I did 1 more, took 1 less, I would have been healthier. Yeah, we finally got a troll. Honestly, with the flies, the most devastating thing that hits us is the crumble results from losing combat over and over again, above and beyond just being hit by the enemy. You to dissuade the trolls from taking any negative actions. That's annoying. I will have to do something about this now. Otherwise it recharges my prince. can't flee with any units to distract it, so I guess I could sacrifice. It's much, much harder to heal the prince than it is the hounds, so I'm probably better off just sacrificing that. Or I could wait for this to move and then charge the flies in the side to hold it in place. Yeah, that works. Just come this way to flank around later. I don't care if it sees me. They'll do that. I can easily intercept them this way. But if I can draw a line of sight, that is. Am I really going to get scuppered by terrain here? No, I can easily get there. Okay, I need the flies not to take too much damage this turn. If they do take too much, I end up losing combat. Okay, I did enough. Way! No damage to the Hulk, which is good. They'll break. Should do. One fly left to buzz around and be annoying. Roll with 1 wound. Can't flee, so I just have to stick them. Could stay here, but that's a waste. Need to know where that's going first. It's going after the flies, so the correct move there. Just come this way and rear charge it. I get to throw my rock. Get rocked. You rally, well, you're doomed to be chasing around 1 fly for the rest of your lives. If this unit miraculously holds on, it's going to get punished by being absolutely slaughtered in combat. Wounds. 2 wounds. Because I lost, I take a bunch of chip damage. Hurting my flies, I need those. That. And deal with this. This is a very low damage output army, but it is fairly resilient. Fast. Surprisingly fast with all the flies. I could have had more traditional units. There's a standard unit of infantry called Plague Walkers that would have changed the run a bit. Hopefully we'll grab some later. Currently I have no, what is effectively 0 holding infantry. I'm entirely reliant upon wound to the side. That's annoying. I do enough to win, so I don't have to worry about taking even more damage. And they're gone. Also broken. A nice chain charge here in a second. Charges, thank you. Now, who do I want to hit this? I could just put the one in the back and that will probably break them and get them to run away. Prevents us from risking taking any damage. Wait with the rest, I guess. Because it's a boss, they don't start morale depletion until you get them down to at least 25%. So you can't just endlessly hit end turn now, I do have to keep fighting them. Hold on, you can turn and hit them. Good hits, there we go, that's more like it. Could you get out of the way, please? I was going to charge that. To declare a charge, you need line of sight to see them. You need to be able to fit in base contact, and you have to be able to draw a straight line from the centre of your base to the centre of the facing your charging, which I can't do because you're in the way. Flying units are exempt from that requirement, but old fatty here isn't quite going to be able to pull that off. Oh, interesting. The cruelty magic item we got that forces enemies to reroll spells also applies to the ranged attacks. They're running anyway, so they'll disappear off the field in a second. Come help with this then. They give it up. Free to disregard the Orc Warriors. Healing is a slow, painful process, much like this particular SOVL run is going to be. Alright, so levels now. Plague Flies I think they've maxed out Blessing of Decay already, so you might as well just do these. I'm fine for golden replenishment. I'm far more interested in the stats, so a number of these could be beneficial. Would be hilarious if we get the extra wound, but it's randomized, so we get what we get. It's skill. That's kind of nice. Being at skill 2 is pretty agonizing. The hounds we purchase have leveled can get skill, stat, or replenishment. Again, the stat is by far better because there's, I think, power, attacks, wounds would all be better than the skill, so just hope you don't get discipline again. Attacks, great. They're a particularly furious unit of demonic hounds. And the plate hulk leveled. And gets its out. That's more like it. Poison attacks on you is really good. Consistency is king. Okay, full HP, auto takes gold. The flies can't really get away with having such small units. I need them to actually fight things. And we've cleared Act 1. Alleluia. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, do consider liking and subscribing. It, of course, helps out the channel. It's more importantly, it shares SOVL around. It's a one-man band developer. There's no marketing team, so the odd YouTube video here and there is the only kind of word of mouth we've got. I'm only aware of the game because I clicked on a random YouTube video, so it may very well allow us to get our hooks into more unsuspecting prey. If you want to see any particular faction or build or character, I've got all of them, so in particular reference to the DLC ones, if you want to see how they play, do let me know. Or if you just want to chat with me and us in the comment section, that's great too. Thank you very much. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.